Yes, it's another sunny day in Gotham City. I am up front, Frank, and there you see me broadcasting to you high from either the Wonder Wheel or something else in Coney Island. I forgot which ride I'm looking at you from. It's an old photo. And yes, we're broadcasting to you from Coney Island. Matter of fact, that shot actually shows you where I grew up. That's what it does. That shot shows you where I grew up. Let me see. There we are. Okay. Yep. There it is. That's the Cyclone. That's another ride. A lot of these are newer rides. And I grew up near that park, right? Those little trees a little bit ahead of you between the white building and the orange building. I grew up right over there. Yeah. In one of those buildings. That's where I grew up. I am from Brooklyn. So when people ask me, where do you live? Well, I tell them whatever I tell them. But I do come from Brooklyn. I come from Coney Island, Brighton Beach area. How is everyone this week? How is everyone going? Well, I'm not hearing a response, but I take it that we will be, 1 second. We're also, there you are. I'm just checking things out on my Twitch feed. I know I struggle, I limp my way in, but it's all good. I'm not limping too bad. My ankles are feeling fine. And no, I am not going to be telling you about the Oreo this week. I have other things to rant about. Let me say hello on my stream. Hello. There you go. Everybody have a seat. We're live on Twitch, which obviously you know that because you're here listening to me. And later on, we will be sharing it over to YouTube. But also, if you go over to your Facebook page, we are live on the Upfront with Frank Rothstein Facebook page and the Skies Crescent radio page. And sitting with me today, as we're talking about her upgrades in technology, it is the very hardworking Jade Zabrick. Hello, Jade. We're just talking over. It was a good weekend. Jade had work over in New Jersey. She was doing her work. I was over on Governor's Island on Saturday. I attended Porch Stomp, which is the annual festival for, say, folk and country and music. It's a music festival. Yeah, that's what it is. It was good. It was pretty good. I went to go see a friend who had they call it a stage, and it really was like a canopy in the middle of the grass, but it was hers, and she was running it, and it was a pretty good day, nice and breezy, as we all know. So that is the story, really, of what my weekend was like. I was also watching boxing, and that's the way it is. Can you believe this is what I'm starting the show with? What I did all weekend, which is okay too, but that's just what it is. Sometimes you start off a little, you get yourself going. What can you do? Let me see. What is over here? What is over here? Let's see. You're looking at me in this picture. Oh, yes, I see that. I see what's wrong with this picture. It's focused on the Cyclone, which is pretty good, though, because that Cyclone, that roller coaster you're looking at, is one of the oldest in the country, if not the oldest, and is one of the most respected in the country. And let me tell you, that it's big. Actually, in Coney Island, the Cyclone roller coaster is really one of the most respected. It's made of wood still, not of metal, like you're thinking. You hear the rickets of the wood. You have the initial drop, it goes up nice and slow. Suddenly it's sort of like that. Yeah, so, it seems pretty cool to me. Then again, it should be. That's where I grew up. I'm just looking around and I'm seeing what's going on. And one of my biggest, well, I hate to say laughs of the week, but it's only a matter of time. As we all know, cryptocurrency, the internet, the internet money, internet funds, took a big hit. Matter of fact, the headline from Motherboard, which is the tech end of the website Vice.com, the headline reads, and this is from just the 17th, so 3 days ago. It says, founders of a $10 billion crypto hedge fund have ghosted after bets go bad. 3 Arrows Capital founded by two high school friends, is MIA as firms scramble to assess the damage amid indications the fund has been wiped out. Now, I'm trying to see here, because like a lot of things, I don't always read these stories before, but I like to read them with you. It says here the co-founders of an influential multi-billion-dollar crypto hedge fund have suddenly gone MIA right in the middle of the moment that people want their money. Well, that's because people are getting scared that cryptocurrency is sort of on a downslide. And like most people in the stock market, they want to take their profits now. But that ain't happening, because now they got to find where these two or three or how many people they really are, took the money and ran. So it says days of swirling rumors have been followed by a harder evidence that Three Arrows Capital, or 3AC, is ghosting its business partners as it attempts to avoid insolvency after the firm over-leveraged itself ahead of the recent crypto winter. Well, they will get caught at some point, I'm sure of that. And yeah, this may be a problem. Hopefully, it's just their phone is out of order and they can't be reached. But if this goes on for any length, yes, they will be found, I assure you. Oh, well, there you go. But that has happened before, people taking the money and run. It's not new. It's just not new. So I really don't have any order to what I'm doing today, just letting you know. I just bringing up stories like I usually do. I'm here, I'm there, I'm everywhere. So I'll be doing that. Look at that. When I share the Zoom picture with Jade, I see a bigger shot than the one I see on my Twitch page. I like the shot I'm sharing with Jade better, but we'll worry about that next week. Let's see what else is going on here. This one actually is pretty important. While I'm babbling, I can get important also. NBC News, and it says surging fuel prices force some emergency responders to cut services. A lot of them won't respond to non-emergencies because of gas. They've cut back the operations. Exorbitant fuel prices have forced some emergency service providers to find ways to cut costs, including not dispatching first responders to non-emergency calls, cutting back on other operations, and reassessing plans to buy new equipment. So on last Wednesday, obviously, the average cost of a gallon of regular gas in the United States was $5.01, far above the $3.07 average from the same time last year. That's according to AAA. Well, that is a big problem. Now, we've heard me talk about this before. If you own a car, maybe two, and yes, it does cost to get, it does cost. It can cost you $100 or more to fill up your car, depending on how big your gas tank is, of course, and where you live. That is expensive. But for one person, you can do a lot of things with that full tank. That's well worth the $100. So let's put it that way. If you're funding a massive operation like state first, police, fire, ambulance, and so on, and that also goes to emergency services from, say, electric, gas, that's a lot of money. Trucker routes, that's a lot of money. Garbage trucks, that's a lot of money. If you have a good sized truck and you're on the road doing your job, it can cost you $1,000 at times to fill up your tank. I know that's expensive. I may joke around about a lot of things, but that's a fortune. A lot of people are cutting back what they're willing to do. In the case of first responders, I remember that phrase became big when 9/11 happened. The World Trade Center was attacked. I never used that before that. But in the case of calling for police or fire or an ambulance, if it's not an emergency, they may not come that fast. You're hurt, but you're not dying. There's no real blood. It's iffy as to whether someone will come to help you, at least that fast. Someone waving a gun around saying, I'm going to kill kids, is not the same as my home has been burglarized and send someone over. Past tense doesn't always get it done. A fender bender in the street, a little accident, no one's really hurt, no fire involved. They may not come that fast. Swap your information and do the best you can. Yeah, this can be a problem. This can be a problem. Yes, it could, because police cars are driving all day. Fire trucks, they're not patrolling the streets looking for a fire. Neither is an ambulance, not really. But police, yeah. Traffic, traffic cops, yeah, they're out there. You know, and again, watch shipping costs go up again, because again, FedEx, UPS, the post office, they all have that same size truck, and they're all driving it across country, and they're all over the place with it, and they're all delivering in a town near you. So be careful with your shipping, and watch prices of things you buy, because if it says shipping included or no shipping charge at all, like you see Amazon Prime and there's no shipping cost, see what the price of the actual item is. How much has it gone up? Because somebody is paying for shipping. Be careful. Let's see, what else is going on here? Well, before we do anything and keep on talking about the craziness of the world, I want to say a happy birthday to Paul McCartney, who turned 80 this week. Yeah, Sir Paul has turned 80. And I was looking at a list on Microsoft News of his top 80 songs, at least Microsoft's favorites. He had Beatles, the Wing, Paul McCartney and Wings. Everyone knows Paul McCartney is with the Beatles. If you really are young and you don't really know where he's been, he had a great band between the Beatles and say 1982, and was called Wings. And they were good. He had some great songs. Yeah, he did. And he's one of the most brilliant songwriters I could possibly imagine. But yeah, he had some good songs. What else? Let me see. Ebony and Ivory, yeah. I'm not going to go to 2018, even though they're good. But yeah, I'm looking at this list. Just punch up Paul McCartney's song list, and you'll see some of these incredible things. Yeah, he wrote things for Beatles, Martha, My Dear. He wrote We Can Work It Out. He just kept Hey Jude, Let It Be. Yesterday, he just kept on writing. He wrote Birthday. He wrote a million things. Band on the Run, When I'm 64. I'm just skimming through their list. Listen to What the Man Said, good song. With a little help from my friends, the one that Ringo Starr sang for the group, even though Lennon and McCartney wrote it. Yeah. I always loved Oobla Di Oobla Da, even though, well, John Lennon didn't really like it, but I always liked it. It has a good feeling to it. He wrote Jet. Paul McCartney wrote Jet, a really good song. Band on the Run's a good song. Fool on the Hill. I'm just looking. Looking. Junior's Farm. Yeah. Paperback Writer, of course, Hey Jude, as I said. He wrote Get Back, Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band. That was one of his. Blackbird, beautiful song for the Beatles. So yeah, he just kept on cranking out one hit after another throughout his career. And even if there was a slow time in there, his music just lasts. It endures. Not many, and when you think of all the historically popular songwriters that you could think, even if you name 50 of them, there are 50,000 of them that wish they had a tenth of the success, because that's hard. It is hard to do. But Paul McCartney did it. And a happy birthday to him. What else is going on here? What is this? Which story am I looking at here? Oh, yeah, there's always that gun. There's plenty of shootings over the weekend. I'm not going to go into all the stories, but in New York State, there's a battle going on again. Second Amendment fight. And this one, the headline from USA Today says, should guns be banned in bars and hospitals? The right to carry in public type of thing. Guns in hospitals and bars? Well, I certainly don't want them in bars. Last thing I want is a bunch of drunk guys in bars. I mean, you're gonna have guys carrying them, not just looking to use them, looking to shoot for no reason at all. Hospitals? Well, I wouldn't want one there. Not only wouldn't I want one there for the obvious reasons, I wouldn't want some idiot pulling out a gun near an oxygen tank and blowing it up and causing a massive problem. So all I need someone to do is miss with their target and actually blow up an oxygen tank. Yeah, it's to me, well, just my personal feeling on the subject is people do not need to carry guns around wherever they go. It's just not necessary. You're going out to get your morning breakfast. Nah, you don't need to carry a gun with you. No, no, no. And besides, not everybody carry a gun. I mean, let's face it. I mean, I could shoot a gun. I don't need to carry it. Yeah, I'll get one that looks good. I'll get the right holster and wear it. I'll make it comfortable for me. I'm a big guy. I'll look nice and menacing. But I don't want to use that. You got to have a stomach for doing that. Not just the ability to shoot straight. Shooting at a target's not shooting somebody. I can shoot a target real well, but I don't want to shoot anybody. I don't know why anybody would want to shoot somebody. But that is what's going on. That's in the Supreme Court. And that's going to be a big outcome when the time comes. So keep track of that. See what else is going on. What else is going on? I was checking the sports section today, and the Mets were winning when I saw it last. They were at 6-0. They had a little bit of a rough time when they went out west. They gave back 5 games of their 10-game lead. Now they're battling. Here come the Atlanta Braves. Every time I turn around, here come the Atlanta Braves. Even though the Mets are the best team in the National League, here come the Braves. But they're winning today. I want back my 5 games. I want back my 5 games. Let's go Mets. Yeah. What else is going on? Oh, there was a thing this week. I was reading the news. I got this, of course, out of one of my favorites, the Post, because they cover everybody's area for lack of their own news. The headline reads, this is from today, Caitlyn Jenner and Australian swim legend celebrate transgender swimming ban. In Australia, obviously. The ban on transgender swimmers competing in major women's events has been celebrated by trans celebrity Caitlyn Jenner, as well as 3-time Olympic gold medalist, who is, I should say, as well, a 3-time Olympic gold medalist, who said athletes have been too scared of cancel culture to admit they supported it. So this was all because of Leah Thomas, who in the Ivy League and college level events was dominating the women's swim circuit. Well, that's because Leah Thomas is in college, but only as of recent, the last couple of years, started identifying as a woman. As we all know, you have to respect everybody's last word, what they identify as. But Leah Thomas learned everything as a male. Body mechanics, physical strength was natural as a male. And you look at the size of Leah, pretty big and dominating in the event. Matter of fact, after setting the record in the national championships, all of a sudden in the next race, Leah came in dead last, which already opened everyone's eyes. But, people are now, I'm reading some of these responses. Of course, they're giving Caitlyn Jenner a hard time because of the trans aspect of, not respecting trans. I want to remind everybody, Caitlyn Jenner has only been Caitlyn Jenner for a few years. Before that, Caitlyn was Bruce Jenner. Bruce Jenner is the 1976 decathlon Olympic gold medalist. Bruce Jenner was a fantastic athlete. Bruce Jenner has a mind like an athlete. It's just ingrained and respects the difference of. It's not because Caitlyn doesn't want to see transgender transgender people do well in life, doesn't want people to be respected for who they are. It's just that this has got to be fair. And fair is, it's not like you take into, I don't even know if that would work if you took, say, if a parent took, say, a 3-year-old and raised a boy as a girl, and they learned everything as a female, because their bodies would still be male. Just they would learn body mechanics. Maybe they would learn differently. Bruce Jenner became Caitlyn very late in life. Matter of fact, right now, Jenner is 72, but we're talking about Caitlyn for what, 6 years? 6 years, maybe 7. I don't even know how long it's been. But trust me on this. This is a very good authority for this subject. And I've been saying this for a long time. I was watching in mixed martial arts. They had Megan Fox, whatever, and fighting with women in the octagon, and fractured a woman's skull because this was a guy punching down on a woman's head. So it sounds like a touchy subject, I know, politically, yeah. But from a competitive fairness aspect, it's still a male going into a female realm and dominating because it's the politically correct thing to do. I could be wrong. Someone tell me how I'm wrong. But if I take someone who has been taught and practiced and has demonstrated physical ability as a male all their lives and suddenly says, I'm a female in college and I want to compete with the women, that is sort of, maybe after Leah gets her degree, she'll suddenly have a change of heart. But in the meantime, you gotta do what's fair. And this is not a popular thing to say. I know that. This is not a very popular thing to say. But at least in swimming, it's not physically dangerous to the women. And it's not like there's physical contact in that regard. This is a time thing. Everyone can swim. No one's drowning. Everyone's an expert swimmer. So, yeah. But in cases of real physical combat sports, yeah, it's dangerous. So there's it's the way it is. All right. Anyway, so that's what's going on in Australia. It's just, what can I say? I don't write this stuff. What else is going on? Oh, look at this at 5:30. Here we go again. Let me give you one more story for a minute. Well, actually, I'm going to give you 2 more stories. I'm looking at this thing today on NBC News website, which says state by state, some patients are losing their telehealth access to doctors. When you get these web visits to your doctor, which really became popular during COVID. Nobody wanted to be near each other. Nobody wanted to know each other. Wait from a distance, start using your tablets. Zoom took off like crazy, as far as a way to communicate, as did any other app, FaceTime, anything else where you can put a video of each other on there, took off. But doctors now, they're not as readily available for that because, it says many states are making it difficult for people to have virtual visits with doctors in other states, partly reversing the explosion in telehealth that occurred during the coronavirus pandemic and calling into the question the durability of one of the major technical shifts from the past 2 years. The rollback in telehealth access has been happening gradually and quietly over the past few months as the pandemic era emergency health orders have lapsed and one state after another reimposing some of the old rules about when doctors can practice in multiple states. All right, well, you got the idea. Okay, you got the idea. First of all, I've actually, someone I know had a phone appointment. And it wasn't a video, a phone appointment. And of course, I was on the other end of the room. I stood quiet because we had to go out. He didn't mind me staying there. And I'm listening to this. Doctor's asking questions, but There's no way for them to get a proper assessment. I'm looking at a photo in this article. So you see the doctor demonstrating how the patient should examine. So like they're touching their sinuses, right? Doctor's doing this, they want the patient to do this. Okay, fine. But the patient isn't going to be able to, unless it's obvious, the patient can't tell you what the doctor needs to see and know. I mean, they did the best they could while people were in quarantine and everyone was afraid of getting sick, doctors included. And of course, they were very busy, in hospitals, whatever the deal may have been, whatever it was at the time. But patients really can't properly assess. I mean, they can give you a general idea. There have been times I've emailed to my doctor, I'm a diabetic. I test my sugar every day, and every now and then I fill them in. I send them a list of my numbers, and I tell them where I'm at, what I'm doing, and how I'm generally feeling. But that's not examining me. He's not going to make a diagnosis off of that, because most people will say, I don't feel that bad. And there's a little bit, but not that bad. So my side, just below my belt level, hurts a little bit, but it's not that bad, even though their appendix is probably ready to rupture. But I'm okay. Doctors really can't examine you. Matter of fact, I think people are better off. Personally, I think people are better off. If you can't see your doctor because you're living in a different state, your doctor's in one state, you're in the other, find yourself a local doctor. Go to a hospital if you have to, but find yourself a local doctor. There is no way in the world you're getting a proper exam. I mean, what are you going to do? Open your mouth with the dentist on the other side of Zoom and they're going to tell you how to fill your own cavity? It's not going to work. So, yeah, this is something I really don't have a problem with. I know what others do, but, sometimes you got to do the best you can. And sometimes the best you can is actually get up, get into your car, take a walk, ride your bike, get on a bus, and go visit a doctor. What else is going on? What else is going on? Let me see. Oh, yeah, speaking of COVID. Again, here's that one of my favorite new phrases, the new normal. Part of the new normal. COVID reinfections are here to stay. Because a lot of public sick leaves are asking, can I get COVID again? Can I get it again? Yeah, you can get COVID again. Yeah. More than likely, since when I had it, I didn't really know it. I was one of the fortunate ones who just lost smell and taste. But I wasn't sick one day. I didn't feel anything. I just wasn't sick. And if I didn't tell you, you wouldn't have known it. I was lucky. But then again, generally when I get sick, I'm lucky. I'm not good. Sometimes I'm superstitious. Have I had it again and not known it? Probably. Like a lot of people, probably. But for people to think, can I get it again if I'm vaccinated? If I had a, well, yeah. You get a flu shot every year and people get the flu. It happens all the time. You had chicken pox, but people can get shingles. It's an extension of chicken pox as you get older. Yeah, it happens all the time. You get your eyes corrected for one reason or another, but you still need another exam. And sometimes a laser surgery doesn't really work all that well, or something changes, or you need a stronger prescription. Things change. Got a good review at got a good exam at the dentist? Aha, a few months later. So, yes, you can get it again. It happens. Think about it. If you're worried about it and you were vaccinated before, go get a booster shot. If you're never vaccinated, you really don't want to, and you've already had COVID, can you get it again? Don't worry about it. You're not looking to change it, so don't worry about it. But yes, the answer is like a flu, like a lot of other things, yes, you can get it again. Obviously, we're reading about this all the time. This is a story that I saw today. This really came out on June 11th, and the headline reads, Russia seeks to militarize school children and censor textbooks mid-war. Where have I seen that before? You saw that roughly 85 years ago, 86 years ago. That's what the Nazis had. The youth movement, militarized them, censored everything in Nazi Germany, even gave them cute little uniforms and knives. The youth knife is a real thing. So yes, this is not a new tactic, and this is what Vladimir Putin is thinking about. Even though Russia defeated Germany at one point in time, but okay, things change, and this is much like Cuba, where everyone became loyal to the country, loyal this, loyal that, which is great. Be loyal to your country, but censoring and militarizing are two different things. All that good old propaganda that gets into the kid's head. Very impressionable. Teach them at a young age, they'll believe anything you can, whatever you tell them. That's why the military always loves to get them young. So yeah, that's what's going on there. Okay. And everything else is going on pretty well otherwise. I'm trying to think, do I want to read this story now or save it for a rant? Should I save it for a rant? Let me see. Hello, Pirate OG. I wasn't even looking at my stuff. I'm sorry about that. Jade, should I save one for a rant or should I just go and get it done now? What do you think? What's on your mind? What do you got there? Let me see it. Type it in. Go now? Well, I thought I was going to, I'm talking to Jade in the booth, so to say. If you ever watched the old show Frasier, you know, he's talking on the radio to everybody. Roz is inside the booth where no one can hear or see her. Jade is my Roz. Jade is, matter of fact, in all the times I've broadcasted, when we were together in one room, her back was always to me. When we were at the Funkadelic studio in Manhattan, she was behind glass. Now she's on, God knows where she is today. I see a map on the wall. She could be anywhere. So yes, Jade and I have never broadcasted together looking at each other. I don't think she knows what I look like in person talking. So, okay, let's just get all this out today. Why not? If I want to change my format, I can do it next week with a little more prep. I was thinking of changing a little more content, a little varied way of doing things. But okay, let's see what's going on. This one here, this was interesting. The Washington Commanders, the former Washington Redskins, you know, they changed their name to the Commanders for next season. At least that's a better name than the Washington football team. Their assistant coach, Jack Del Rio, made a statement calling the January 6th riots a dust-up. Remember, charged the Capitol building and all that. So he gave a public apology, but the statement read, and I quote, "People's livelihoods are being destroyed, businesses are being burned down, no problem. And then we have a dust up at the Capitol, nothing burned down, and we're going to make a major deal." Okay. Of course, the team basically came up with a statement of his comments do not reflect the organization's views, I should say, and extremely hurtful to our great community here in the DMV. All right, fine. Got it. And of course, he issued an apology, which I know apologies are never accepted. Where I have a problem with this is they fined him $100,000. Assistant coach, former NFL quarterback, Jack Del Rio was fined $100,000 for making this one paragraph statement on Twitter. And when I question what people say and hide behind the First Amendment, I mean, let's face it, it is the right for you to express your opinion, to say what you feel, what you think. It's, of course, hopefully in a constructive manner. It is not meant for you to get into someone's face and threaten them. The classic cliche of you do not have the right to walk into the crowded theater and yell fire. That's not your First Amendment right. It does not give you the right to walk up to someone 2 feet away and threaten them, telling them you're going to kill them. Oh, but it's my First Amendment right to say so. No, it's not your amendment right to say so. It's not. This really does fall under First Amendment, at least in my opinion, because he may be wrong. If you think he's wrong, I know some are going to think he's right, but I feel he's wrong. I'm not looking to compare the two events. He's comparing the Capitol building riot, and he's comparing the looting and rioting over the George Floyd matter from a couple of years ago. I'm not looking to equate both. They're not, it's two greatly different subjects, but he has the right to say what he wants. To fine him $100,000, not suspend him, say, whatever amount of gains without pay for speaking, using his, if you want to say he used his position on the team as a pulpit to say what he wants, all right, you can suspend him, I guess, if the team really wants to. But I don't know how they came up with the number $100,000. And that to me is wrong, because not agreeing with somebody, thinking they're wrong, does not mean they should be fined a fortune of money. If he's that kind of wrong, then what dollar figure really equates it? Why wouldn't they have been satisfied with 10,000? It's a one paragraph thing. How much is the dollar value of a word? And I just did not agree with that. So yeah, there are times when the First Amendment does not apply, but there are times when it does. Yes, I don't have to agree with every last thing you say, whether it's politically, socially, or whatever else. But you do have a right to say certain things. Walking up to somebody and cursing their mother and threatening to hurt them physically, I'm going to punch you in the face with the hammer. No, that's not your First Amendment. Matter of fact, that may get you another punch in the face first. But saying something like this, wrong as I think it is, shouldn't be $100,000 finable offense by a non-legal authority. It's not like a state fine, the team fine. Anyway, his Twitter account has been deleted. Yeah, let's see. The sum will be donated to the U.S. Capitol Police Memorial Fund, which, if the team wasn't doing that anyway, unless they are, they're just adding it to the pot. But somehow I don't agree with this fine. Sorry, just can't do it. Doesn't seem right. If you have a thought on this subject, please let me know. I'd love to hear it. What else is going on? Okay. This one here is important for everybody. It really is. I got this off of NBC News. This is from June 10th. I didn't see the story until today. Wicker, which is Amazon's encrypted chat app, the headline says it has a child sex abuse problem, and little is being done to stop it. So WickerMe, WICKRME, WickerMe is an encrypted messaging app owned by Amazon Web Services, and has become a go-to destination for people to exchange images of child sexual abuse. That's according to court documents, online committees, law enforcement, and anti-exploitation activists. So pretty much what this means is that people are finding a place, an outlet to share kids. That's what it means. And I say this all the time. I really tell this to people all the time. Besides, Amazon should do something about it. Even if it means turning off the app for a day and purging it of all the accounts and starting over. Just really I don't care. Kids are at stake. I don't care. I have been saying this for a long time. Parents, be careful of what your kids put on the internet. They're not sharing adults. There's no mention here of an 18 or a 19-year-old. They're sharing kids. Be careful of the pictures you put up. I don't care if you're sitting next to them when the shot was taken. Be careful of the pictures you put up on the internet. And if, even though we're on Twitch, and I know a lot of people are here a lot younger than I am, if you are 25, you could easily have a kid. Be careful of the pictures you put up. Yes, 18, 19-year-olds can have a kid. I don't care if you have a 4-year-old, you're sitting in the park or on the beach. You're a right click away. You know what that means. Everybody can be copy and pasted to any album, anywhere. Pictures are saved all the time. Screen captures are made of photographs from everywhere. Be careful with what you put on the internet. Be careful of the possibility of someone taking it from you. And I see that thing on Facebook every now and then. Tomorrow goes into effect, Facebook with this, with that. And someone says, copy and share. I did not give my permission from Facebook to use or sell. And I keep telling people, forget about it. You're on a social media outlet. I share no important pictures onto social media. Never. Matter of fact, if you go to my Facebook page, you're going to see a picture of Coney Island and me holding what is really a gas can guitar. I see this all the time. I saw my cousin today put up the same warning. I explained to her, this is what it is. This is what's going on. And I screen capped the picture of her and her dog. I put it in the response with the words, that easy. And that is just what it is. I told this to a friend of mine. Let's see, her daughter is graduating med school soon. We're in med school. So I told her this, say, 5, 6 years ago. Her daughter is an athlete. Her daughter I'll be blunt, has a very good body. She's just lucky that way. And I told her, I know this woman I know the mother since I'm 4. We've known each other all our lives. I said, listen, here's the problem. Be careful of all this, because she's a right click away from being a calendar on a wall somewhere. And this is what it is. It's just, and I think she took a couple of the pictures off. You see kids, you're dressing them up as adults on the beach. You're letting your little 8-year-old wear a bikini. You're doing this. Same thing with the boys. There are guys out there there are child predators who like young boys also. Make no mistake, young boys are big in that market. Be careful. You never know. Be careful. And if anyone thinks I'm wrong, give me your Facebook account. I will take your personal picture and I will put it in response. It is that easy. It's just we are all a right click away. So if you're an adult, well, you do what you want, you take the chances, but do your best to not put your child at risk. And that's all I got to say about that. As for Amazon, if they're aware of it and they do nothing about it, I hope someone brings them up on charges down the road. What can I say, right? Then, on the 18th, on a lighter, happy note, I saw an opinion piece on CNN's website of why Lego is the best toy ever invented. You know Legos, the original Legos. Says it was my favorite toy as a kid. My best friend and I would spend countless hours crouched over a giant pile of plastic bricks using our Lego language, hundreds of names for hundreds of different pieces to communicate which one we needed, and so on and so on. They built whatever. Legos were a brilliant, brilliant toy to invent. I know people think they're doing great now as kids with their phones. But you had to sit on the floor like a little kid and be inventive. And kids can be pretty creative that way. You know, when they get to use their hands are involved. They may not be able to see it, but suddenly you grab a piece. I can, if I take this and I put it over here, and maybe I'll take one and put it over there, and all of a sudden you've created something. It doesn't have to be the greatest thing in the world, but to a kid, it's good for their mind. It's great for development. They're creating something. Legos were the perfect example of this. That old-fashioned erector sets, metal things, screws, wrenches, but Legos, they were pretty great. Yeah, they were pretty great. It's just a puzzle. It's all it is. It's a million pieces that makes the puzzle that you are creating the outcome of this puzzle, non-puzzle puzzle. Put it that way. And it really was the greatest of all toys. Not just because the article says so, but it really is. And if you have a child today who's getting to the age where they want to know how to do things, and of course they won't shove every little piece down their throat, get some Legos, sit with them and help them create something. It'll teach kids how to think. It'll teach them how to think and apply at the same time. It really is a great toy. A lot of old toys were great toys. I keep telling you, as kids get older and get to go out and play with their friends, a ball, a plain old ball, is a great invention. I used to play with a ball all the time. It could occupy 20 kids at once. There's so many games that one ball can be played with all the kids in the neighborhood. Now I don't see a lot of kids out there anymore. But again, going back to Legos, as long as they're wise enough not to put these little bitty pieces down their throat, as long as they're old enough, or an adult is watching to make sure, yeah, get them Legos. It's a lot of fun. You should have some. You'll have fun too. Oh my, these are all my stories for the week because, yeah, the world is a sick place, but as I said, you can have some fun with it also. What else is coming up this week? Let me see. Tomorrow I'll be going over to Astor Place. One of my more favorite-ish singers, Morgan James, will be appearing at Astor Place in some outdoor free concert. I want to go see that at 7:00. I want to do that. As updating everybody on my big weight conditions over here. Well, I've been having a little bit of a struggle for the last month. This weekend was pretty bad, but so far, no harm done. So, getting something out of my system, I guess. But we're getting back on track. Make no mistake. I have a little goal for my birthday in September, so I'm going to figure that out. Hopefully someone's rooting for me out there. And if you'd like to try your hand at this, maybe you'll do a better job than me. Write to Skies Crescent Radio. It's skiescrescentradio@gmail.com. Put the E in the words, SKYES, Crescent Radio, and go to the website, skiescrescentradio.com. Also, check out Jade Zabrick on YouTube. Matter of fact, check out Skies Crescent Radio and Jade Zabrick on YouTube. Give it both a like and a subscribe. We'd love to have you. We'll consider it a favor. We'll owe you one. And yeah, we're coming up on the hour. Look at that. My original plan today was go about a half hour, then come back with a rant for about 20 minutes. But then I got so caught up in talking about a lot of this stuff. I think it was the First Amendment that got me. I couldn't shut myself up. So what can I say, right? Oh, by the way, one of my more favorite singers out there, speaking of favorite singers, Ariana Savalas. Go on to YouTube, subscribe to her channel. She just came out with a song that during COVID, when no musician was working, she was doing her live, she called them stripped, which she was pretty much just playing every song down to like a bare bones type of way. There was no band. It was her and her keyboard, her ukulele, and sometimes her boyfriend on bass. And she had written this song called What Do You Want to Know? Which at that time, she wasn't sure of how exactly it was going to end or if she thought it was ready or good enough. And we all kept telling her it's a beautiful song. It really is. It's a song that resonates, that can resonate with many people who were adults. It's definitely not a kid's song. But if you go to Ariana, Arianna, Savalas, Savalas, I can't even speak today, and go give her a like and subscribe. Search what do you wanna NNA know? Really is a great song. And that is the story for today. So coming to you live from Coney Island. Yes, I can even use my fake radio voice. Live from Coney Island. This has been Up Front with Frank Rothstein on the Skies Crescent Radio Network. I'll see everybody next week. Have a good night.